What's up, guys? This is Tezos. Welcome to the cryptocurrency.market channel. This is a trading, investing, and entrepreneurship channel. We focus on the realities of trading and investing, not on the theoretical bullshit. Okay. I'm here broadcasting from District 7 with my wife and kids in the beautiful city of Ho Chi Minh City in the southern part of Vietnam in Southeast Asia. And in this video, guys, I want to talk to you guys about a tweet that one of my followers tagged me on. Okay, and it's a tweet from Jack Miller, and his Twitter handle is at John_Iller. Okay, it's like Miller without the M. Okay, so he posted a thread here about the Tezos and upcoming supply crunch relative to the increasing demand. So he has a bunch of statistical data and numbers about the Coinbase staking the Tezos. Now, I've made previous videos already about why I think that staking is going to be the future, okay, and why the Tezos is going to be a huge thing in the cryptocurrency world, and why everybody is getting into staking. If you haven't seen that, watch my previous videos, okay? But this video, I want to use some of the data points that Jack Miller shared on his Twitter thread, and I just want to go over it with you, okay? So if you look on here, so let me just explain to you guys what Coinbase is, because we all know, for the people that's in America, they already know that Coinbase is a reputable company, a reputable exchange. Is one of the first major exchanges in the world that allow people to trade, send fiat currencies in there, and then convert it to Bitcoins and Ethereum and Litecoin and other things like that, okay? Now, what's unique about Coinbase, guys, it's a company that's based out of San Francisco, and it's a tech company, and we can talk about all this stuff, but none of that really matters to me, you know? None of that stuff really matters to me. What's important about Coinbase to me is that it's partially owned by the New York Stock Exchange. And when I say partially owned, what I mean by that is that back in 2013, 2014, somewhere around that time frame, the New York Stock Exchange put $75 million into the company Coinbase when they first came out onto the market, okay? So what is unique about that $75 million? Well, it's not the $75 million that's unique. It's the fact that the New York Stock Exchange is the biggest stock exchange in the world, and the most popular, and the most well-known, and the most reputable, and probably one of the oldest stock exchanges in the world. So the fact that the New York Stock Exchange is putting $75 million into Coinbase, that's what makes it relevant, and that's what makes it important. It's not so much that it's, you know, if you look at Coinbase, it's no different than Kraken, it's no different than Bitstamp, it's no different than Bitfinex, it's no different than Binance. And so without the investment from the New York Stock Exchange, it's really not, to me, it doesn't stand out as anything unique. But the fact is that the New York Stock Exchange is invested heavily into the Coinbase. Then what that tells, the reason why that makes it have value is because the New York Stock Exchange has huge, massive clout, and it has huge, massive reputation, and they're very well connected to the SEC, the FINRA, and all the law enforcement and the civil side of the financial securities laws in America. So they have, tons of lawyers, ton of people, law firms that can help guide Coinbase to go in the right direction, since they have a huge investment into Coinbase, okay? So that's the reason why Coinbase is important in the world of cryptocurrencies, okay? So here, earlier this year, Coinbase, no, not earlier this year, but just a few months ago or a few weeks ago, I forget, but Coinbase released their, before I talk about Coinbase custody, I have to explain what custody is, or else it won't make sense and it won't have no value to you, okay? Especially for the people that's outside of America, okay? So custody means that, I'm dumbing it down really simple, guys, so that you guys can understand this, so we can move on and talk about the staking, okay? Custody means that if you give your money to someone else to invest for you, that's registered with the government and has the correct credentials and government authorization to accept your money to invest for them, okay, what happens is you have to give that money to a third party to hold the money. So for example, I'm just going to use myself as an example. Let's just say that I have a crypto hedge fund or some type of hedge fund in America, okay, and I want to accept your money to manage it for you, or to trade it for you, or to invest it for you, or do anything that I want with it for you to grow that money and make a profit for you, right? I cannot just accept your money directly into my bank account and then just start trading it, okay? That's against the law in America. What I have to do is I have to hire a outside firm called a custodian, and that custodian that third party has been registered with the government. They've gotten the right paperwork and the right approvals and credentials from the law enforcement, the financial law enforcement agencies in America, and the security agencies like the SEC, FINRA, all the alphabet soup agencies in America. Okay, so when you do that, then I can accept that money, and then usually you'll send it to the custodian, and then whenever trades I make, it has to go through the custodian. So the reason why they require you to do that in the Western countries, okay, is so that there's no way, it's really hard for me to take your money and run off with it, okay? So that's the reason why we have to use custody. And the reason why in America right now, the first, I guess, companies or agencies or institutions that's doing custodian or custody for cryptocurrencies is Coinbase. They just announced it, they started it earlier this year, but they just started doing custody for Tezos just a few weeks ago, okay? Now, they're not the first ones to do custody for cryptocurrencies. There's another place called Kingdom Trust. They do custody already, and so they've been doing that. Matter of fact, on our team, we have people that have their money in a cryptocurrency IRA, right? So they go through Kingdom Trust so that they can hold the custody of the funds and the coins and store it in the hard wallet and things like that, okay? So that's by law. The other reason why you want custody, guys, is so that in case you die or something, you don't want me to be handling that money. So what happens is when, if you die, if you're a client and you die, then what happens is then there's already an agreement with the custodian to release that money to whoever it is that you want to, whether it's to your wife, to your kids, to your parents, or whoever it is that you want to, okay? So that's another important reason to have custody in the world of trading and investing, okay, on a large scale, okay? If you're just doing it for yourself and maybe your parents or one or two friends or family or something, maybe you don't need custody. But when you do it on a large scale, millions of dollars for dozens and hundreds of customers, then the government requires you to use a custodian service in order to store that money or the crypto or whatever the assets is, whether it's crypto, whether it's fiat currencies, or whether it's gold or silver or precious metals. You got to use custody, okay? So anyways, so recently Coinbase Custody announced that they are doing custody for a cryptocurrency called Tezos. Now, if you've watched previous videos, you know that I'm a huge fan of Tezos. I think it's going to be really huge. One of the reasons, because I believe that the technology is good, and also they have a big community. And the most important thing of all is that they have a big, massive war chest. They have like over $650 million to develop their project, only for their project. Some people say, hey Ty, you're wrong, EOS has $4 billion and shit. I don't believe that. I don't believe that EOS has that money. And even if they did have that money, they don't have to use it towards the development of EOS, whereas Tezos, they have over $650 million the last time I checked, and they have to spend that on Tezos for the development of Tezos. They cannot go and do something else with that, because the way that they registered their nonprofit foundation, right? They have to do that, or else they can break the law in Switzerland or in wherever it is that they registered their foundation in Europe. Okay, so that's the reason why I'm really big and bullish on Tezos. Okay, and also they're solving a very huge problem in the cryptocurrency world, and that area is about governance. If you're not sure what governance is, it basically means that it's a final binding, and binding decision process to make sure that the protocol or the network or the software gets implemented the way that the community wants it done, and it has to be done. So final decision means that, hey, this is what the final decision the community wants, and binding means that it's actually going to get implemented. It's not like in Bitcoin where they don't have a governance process. They have a governance process to determine the sequence of transactions, but they don't have a governance process to determine how the entire network gets upgraded so that the community stays together. You know, so every time the Bitcoin community wants to do a serious upgrade, there's going to be a split in the community, and that's going to continue to happen. A lot of people say no, that doesn't happen, and you know, they're just closing their eyes and they're just being blind to reality. So this is a reality-based trading and investing channel. So we look at the reality. You know, they say that yes, there's a governance, it's final, it's binding, but you know, every time they do it, it splits into Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin Cash, and then from Bitcoin Cash, again, it upgrades, it splits into Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, and that's going to continue. It's not going to stop, you know, so don't think it will. So with governance coins such as Tezos and like Decred, you know, these coins have, they recognize the problem that Bitcoin was facing, and so now they're solving that problem by having a built-in on-chain governance process, okay? So in this, enough about Tezos, you know, and the governance and stuff like that. Now I want to focus on the staking part and why I believe that it's going to be huge, okay? So, or as Trump would say, huge, it's going to be huge, okay? So first of all, John Miller here posts the stats from a block explorer called TZ Stats, okay? And this is a public information here about Coinbase custody, okay? And also, if you want to follow some information on Coinbase custody and what they're doing with Tezos and other cryptocurrencies, the Twitter handle that you want to follow is Coinbase at Coinbase Custody, and you also want to follow one of their lead engineers. His name is Luke Youngblood. Okay, so he's the one that I guess I don't know him personally, but I noticed that anytime somebody references or tags the Twitter handle Coinbase Custody, then he's one of the first engineers to respond to it. Okay, and so he can answer your engineering questions and your financial legality questions when it pertains to Coinbase Custody. Okay, so in this TZ Stats, okay, who is made by a German backing engineer named Alex. Okay, really fantastic product here that he puts out. So shout out to Alex from TZ Stats. You know, he put out a great block explorer to replace the TZ Scans block explorer that got taken away by the guys that do the Dune protocol token. Okay, so anyways, so right here in the TZ Stats, it indicates that Coinbase Custody currently has a staking balance of 21 million, okay, or 22 million, it's 21.9, so 22 million Tezos tokens that they're staking, okay? Now, their staking capacity is 12 million, okay? So, usually, okay, so in order for you guys to understand the value of what's going on with Coinbase Custody, okay, and their Tezos staking, I have to explain another couple of concepts for you real quick. Oftentimes, you'll hear the word collateral and the word bond, okay, or staking bond when you're staking Tezos, okay? So in order for you to become a validator or like the equivalent of like what's called a Bitcoin miner, in order for you to be a Bitcoin miner, you need tons of hardware, okay? And you need a minimum of, I don't know how many terahashes of hardware in order to be a miner, okay? I'm not talking about you can just get like a phone or a laptop and plug it in and do it. I'm talking about somebody that can actually validate a block and then get rewarded for it, okay? That takes a massive amount of terahashes to do that, okay? So, in order for you to do that with Tezos, you need a minimum of 8,000 tokens, and that's called a baking roll, okay? So, one of the things I don't like about Tezos is they use the word baking. I really don't like that. You're just confusing the shit out of people by calling it baking and calling it a baking roll and things like that. In my opinion, they should have just called it staking, just like any other coin that stakes, you know. So that's easy. There's a lot of information out there about staking. There's not a lot of information out there online about baking. So by using the word baking, I think that was a bad marketing move. If I was part of the Tezos team starting it out from the beginning, I would have fought tooth and nail to not use the word baking and all those baking bakery type words, okay? Nothing kills adoption faster than confusion, okay? And there's no need to introduce new vocabulary when you don't need to confuse the shit out of newcomers. Okay, anyways, back to what I was saying, okay? So you need a minimum of 8,000 tokens. It used to be 10,000 before, but they voted in the last protocol to upgrade it and reduce it down to 8,000 because they didn't think there was enough people baking or staking their own nodes, running their own nodes so that the system can be more decentralized. The last time I checked, there was like 450 baking nodes. So that means that we have about 450 individual validators validating the blocks in the Tezos network. You know, right now our team is, or myself, I'm one of them. Okay, so we have 455, and there's like 121 or 125 that's public, which means that we know who these people are. Right now, we have one that's private, so you're not going to know who it is. That you don't know that it's me, but I'm running it. So that's just like our test one, and then once we get that going, then the next one should be up and running. We're running several of them, but the one that I'm going to allow people to delegate to it, I'll put my name on it so that you guys know that it's me, okay? And then I'll validate it on Twitter and confirm it so that everybody knows that it's me, okay? So, and then if you guys want to delegate to it, I think we're going to charge like 15% staking fee, something like that, you know, to run the if you want us to delegate to us so we can bake it for you, okay? So anyways, when we bake this, okay, the key here is that you need 8,000 tokens to bake it, okay? And then once I have the 8,000 tokens in here, then I can multiply that by, let's just say by 12, okay? Now, just say 10, just so that it's safe. It's like somewhere around 10, 11, or 12 times. So that means if I have 8,000 tokens in my baking node, okay, that I set up on the servers, then what happens is, then that node can, then I can accept about 10 times that amount of delegation. So if I have 8,000 Tezos tokens in my baking node, then I can accept about 80,000 tokens to delegate. So if you have 80,000 tokens you want to delegate to me, then I can stake it for you, and then I'll take 15% of the staking rewards, okay? So now, here's the thing, guys, right? 15% is not a lot, guys. It's a very small amount. The typical average fee is between 10 and 20% for a staking fee, and the Coinbase custody charges 25%. You know, they have a easier UI, and you pretty much just send it in there and they do it. So they charge a little bit higher, right? But right now the staking reward is somewhere around close to 7% a year. So if you have 1,000 Tezos tokens and you stake it, you'll get about 7,000 tokens. If you have 1,000 tokens and you stake it, you get 7%, which is about 70 tokens a year. And out of that 70 tokens, then we get like 15% of that, right? Which is a very small amount, so that we can pay for the computers, the servers, and internet, and all that other stuff, and pay for the engineers to maintain the software and help run it, make sure it's running correctly. Okay. So, anyways, right? If you don't want to pay the 15% to delegate to us, then you can just delegate to someone else, right? Or you can, if you want an easier user experience, then you just send it to Coinbase and delegate it to them, okay? Now, okay, so we're gonna have a bunch of Tezos in there, so we're gonna be able to accept a lot, you know. Now, Coinbase put in their account. At first, Coinbase put on 22 million. That's what the TZ stats shows right now. Now, if you take 22 million, I'm gonna pull up my calculator here real quick, because unfortunately, I'm one of those dumbass Asians that can't do math, okay? So let's say 22 times 10, so we got 220. So they can do like 220 million in whatchamacallit, in delegation. That means that they can accept up to 220 million. Let me pull this up right here real quick. I was switching screens on my phone and it changed to a different screen here. Okay, so anyways, right? So they have 21 and they can stake up to like 200 and something million, okay? Right now, their staking capacity, if I'm reading this correctly, has another, like they can do another 12 million, okay? So I guess they have enough room here for another 12 million, if I'm reading this correctly, okay? Yeah, so they're oversubscribed here by 15 million. Now here's what's funny, okay? Their staking balance is 21 million and their staking bond is 600,000, okay? So my bad, let me, I'm looking at the wrong picture here. So their staking balance is 21 million, okay? They have a staking bond. So this is more correct here, because that 22 that number 22 million was throwing me off here, because last time I checked, I didn't think it was that high. But this is more accurate right here. This is 672 million. So what's his name? Jack Miller? Oh yeah, Jack Miller posted the correct data. I was just interpreting it incorrectly, okay? So the staking bond that Coinbase Custody has is 672 Tezos. So if you take 600,000 and multiply it by, let's say 10, just so the math is easy, right? You'll have somewhere around 6 million capacity. And right now, they're over capacity. They're over capacity, okay? So they have like about 21 million that people gave to them to stake, but they can only handle like 6 million. So they're oversubscribed by about, so they're missing, they need more. They need more Tezos tokens in order to stake the other 15 million that's just sitting there. Okay, now, you might say, hey Ty, why don't they just take the coins that people send to them and deposit into their exchange and use that coin as the staking bond, okay? A bond is the collateral that they have to put up, that 8,000 that they have to put up, so that the reason why the Tezos network requires you to put up a bond, 8,000 bond, is because they want to make sure that if you're seriously trying to help the network, you get rewarded like 7% in tokens a year. But if you're trying to hurt the network, then they're going to take your tokens from you, okay? So that's the reason why it's designed so that if you try to cheat the system and try to hurt the system, then you're going to lose your coins, which to me is fair, because if I'm putting up my tokens, my 8,000 tokens up to help secure the network and validate transactions and create new blocks, right? I have no intentions of doing anything malicious or doing anything bad to the network or try to harm or hurt the network. But if anyone's trying to do that, then by all means, yeah, they should be punished for trying to hurt the network, okay? So as long as I am on the up and up and I'm on doing positive things to help the network, then I don't have to worry about getting punished and losing my Tezos tokens that I put up for collateral, okay? So in order for Coinbase Custody to stake more coins, they have to get more coins into stake more bond. And the natural inclination or the natural thought that you would have is that, hey Ty, why don't they just take the coins that they have, that people gave to them, the customers gave to them, and use that as the collateral or as the staking bond, and then they're basically essentially using the customer's money to make 25% off of the staking rewards, okay? Well, that sounds really good and easy, and most of the non-US exchanges and most of the non-Western exchanges, more than likely that's what they will do. Like if you look at the Chinese exchanges or anything like that, to me, I'm willing to bet that that's what they're doing, okay? That they're using the customers' tokens to use as collateral, okay? Now, the reason why the American exchanges cannot do that is because it's against the law, okay? It's against the law for them to use customers' funds to make money off of it, okay? And if they do it, first of all, it's against the law, and if they want to do that, they have to let the customer know, okay? So back to that engineer or whoever's in charge of the Coinbase custody, his name is Luke Youngblood, okay? He already tweeted out that customers do not, Coinbase Custody does not use the customer's funds as staking bond or as collateral to stake Tezos inside the Coinbase Custody system, okay? So that's good news. To me, when Luke Youngblood tweeted that out to me, not to me, but to the network or to the public so that they all know that, okay? And to clarify that misconception, right? To me, that's worth about 3x right there. That one tweet, to me, right, really gave me a massive amount of confidence in the Tezos network and in the Coinbase Custody. And here's the reason why, guys. In order for Coinbase to handle the customer's needs, that 15 million tokens that need to be staked, okay, that customers sent to them to stake, in order for them to do that, if you divide 15 million by 10, so that's about 1.5 million. Just rough estimates, guys. Okay, if I'm off by a few coins, don't bitch and cry about it, okay? So they need to buy up 1.5 million tokens in order to stake that 15 million worth of tokens, okay? So if you're one of those people that sent it to them to delegate to them to stake, they can't do it right now because they're full. Because in order for them to buy more, they only have 600,000 as collateral. They need to buy another 1.5, 1.6 million in order to have enough collateral and bond in the Tezos network to even stake them, okay? So, I'm not bragging or nothing, but for a individual trader like me, you know, as far as like individual ratio wise, you know, when I open up my start accepting delegations, you know, to stake when we finish setting up our baking node and I'm ready to accept delegations, I'm actually going to have more capacity than Coinbase custody, just from a you know, small big giant to a little guy perspective. You know, I mean, it's not like I have 1.5 million Tezos. Okay, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that, you know, for the amount of that, you know, for a big company like that, a $1 billion company, to only have 600,000 Tezos in there to use as collateral, to me that's peanuts. That's peanuts. Okay, because, you know, myself and, you know, some of our team members just combined, you know, we probably have that much or more in staking collateral. Okay, now, you know, these are guys that's in the background, that's private. You guys will never meet these guys and never know who they are. Okay, it's not leonfu.com, it's not David, it's not, you know, but just, you know, guys behind the scenes that you guys have never heard or met. They're on our team, you know. So just that alone. So just even just compare, you know, from a $1 billion, you know, organization, company, to myself, you know, that's to me is just peanuts. Okay, and so I'm not saying that so that I'm being cocky or arrogant as a trader. I'm saying that because that's good news, guys. That's good news that if a little trader like me has more collateral, you know, proportion-wise to them, you know, not in quantity but in proportion, then that's good news, because they are now going to have to go out there and get more Tezos tokens in order to stake all their customers' tokens. Okay, that's massive amounts of good news, guys. I've been saying this in so many staking videos and so many Tezos videos already, that in order, the reason why I believe staking is going to be the future is because it provides a monthly income. There's a lot of people out there that do not go get educated about trading crypto. If you're not going to take the time and invest the money and get educated about trading crypto, you should not be trading. You should just invest in it. You know, you should just, you know, stake it and just get a monthly income and be content with that. Okay, don't take more risk than you need to. Okay, but for the people that are serious, right, I highly encourage you, you know, to get educated. You know, and one of the best places to get started educating yourself on how to trade and invest in cryptocurrencies is to go to www.cryptocurrency.market/blueprint and get a copy of our cryptocurrency investing blueprint and start learning. And if you're one of those that's just new and you're not sure about getting the cryptocurrency investing blueprint or not, to learn how to trade and invest in cryptocurrencies, then I highly recommend you go to www.cryptocurrency.market/newsletter, right? And sign up to our newsletter and put your email in there, and I'll send you the 6 key ingredients that you need to build a profitable trading system or investing system. Okay, so go to cryptocurrency.market/newsletter, put in your name and email, and I'll send you the video to the 6 key ingredients to building a profitable trading system. Okay, so now, for the people who are gun shy, they're new, they're really scared, they hear all this news and they're not sure about trading and investing in cryptocurrencies, right? Staking offers the greatest return, in my opinion, or I shouldn't say the greatest return, but the greatest benefit to anyone that is trying to get new, that's new and coming into cryptocurrency trading and investing. Okay, so that's the reason why I highly recommend that. Okay, when you go in there and you do that, right? When people see themselves get monthly income, right? So like, for example, like I'm staking energy with an I at the end, energy.world. You can go there to energy.world and look it up, you know. I set up several energy master nodes, right? Each master node requires 10,000 tokens. That's the minimum, okay? So each master node requires 10,000 tokens, and it produces about 450. When I first started, it was around 600 and something tokens a month, and now it's down to like 450 tokens a month. And I anticipate that by next year, it'll probably be down to like the low 400s. Okay, mathematically, if I did the math correct, right, I don't think it's going to go below like 350 tokens a month or 360 tokens a month. But let's just say even at 350 tokens a month, and the coin is worth $1 or $2. Right? 350 tokens times $1 is $350 a month, and then 350 tokens a month times $2 is $700 a month. So if I get that coming in each month and I have several master nodes, right, that's a really good source of income, and I don't need to trade or do anything, right? I just need to invest in the coin, and when the coin, so I get the benefit of staking it and getting a reward from it each month, and I can cash it, convert it to Vietnamese dong or US dollars or euro, and then or British pounds or Australian dollars, and then if the price goes up, right, then I also benefit from the appreciation in price or the price increase of the token. So it's a benefit. It's like getting a preferred stock, invest into a preferred stock, and never having to worry about all the nonsense that's associated with it. And in the future, when I die and kick the bucket, you know, I can pass each one of those master notes down to each one of my kids, right? So my goal, I have 4 kids, 1 wife, and then I got 1 or 2 people that I want to do charity work for, right? So my goal is to put to get an investment like that, a master node like that for each person, so that it generates income for them each month. Okay, I don't like giving somebody money, right, and then be done with. I like to put money into an investment, and then it produces income each month, and then I can donate that money and do the charity that I want to do. Okay, and I'll make that in a separate video if you guys want to know how I do the charity using the staking coins and the master nodes. Leave it in the comment section below, and I'll make a video about it. Okay, so the takeaway from this video, guys, is that in order for and this is just Coinbase, guys. Coinbase needs about 1.5, 1.6 million Tezos tokens to stake the 15 million tokens that customers gave to them to stake. Okay, now there's also Gemini, there's also Binance, there's also KuCoin, there's also a bunch of other exchanges that want to stake people's Tezos, and in order for them to do that, they have to get collateral. Now, some of the non-US exchanges, obviously they're going to use the customer's money to use as collateral in order to stake it, right? But I want you guys to understand this. If the exchange wants to get legit and get a good reputation, eventually they're going to have to get away from that and start doing it correctly and legally correct. Okay, so even though in the short term they might use customers' funds as collateral, I believe that in the future they're going to start getting away from that, and like exchanges that want to go legit, like Gemini and like Coinbase, and go in their footsteps, they're going to be forced to do it. Okay, so it's just only a matter of time, guys. Now, here's the other good news. Out of all the tokens that's on the market, right, about 70% of the tokens on Tezos are locked up in being staked. Okay, and just as you guys know, when I say locked up, that just simply means that they're being staked. You know, at any time you can remove those coins and send it to the exchange and sell it off. Okay, so it's not like your coins are locked in there. It's not like Cosmos, where when you trade Cosmos, when you stake it, it's locked in there, and then when you unlock it, it takes time before you can undelegate it, and then I think it's like 20 days before you can send it anywhere and sell it. Okay, so that's one of the downsides with staking something like Cosmos. Okay, so I just want to share this video with you guys so that you guys understand that there is massive. I can't stress this enough, guys, that if you miss Ethereum or any of those smart contract coins from 2017, in my strongest opinion, okay? Now, guys, I'm a huge investor in Tezos. I'm not being paid by anyone to say this, but I believe that Tezos is going to be around. Like, when I invest into a coin, I want to ask myself, okay, now besides the technology, is this coin going to be around 5 years from now, 10 years from now? And one of the ways I determine that is, one is by, or do they have good engineers? And number 2 is, most important of all, is do they have the money to hire those engineers and pay for them? If they don't have enough money to pay for those engineers, right, then no matter how good the technology is, right, it's not going to win out. Okay, I have more money in Tezos than even Bitcoin. Okay, I don't have any Bitcoins because to me they don't have funding, and the second thing is that they don't have a clear-cut way to upgrade their network whenever an important upgrade needs to be done. Meanwhile, the projects like Tezos and like Decred, like Energy, these projects, when they need to upgrade, man, they put the vote out there, and within just a few months, they can come to a majority consensus, right, of what the community wants, and the protocol gets upgraded, and bam, we move on and go on to the next stage of development. Okay, we're not jacking around, sitting there fighting over each other, calling names, making memes online and doing a bunch of trolling online just to get a software upgraded, okay? So that's one of the main reasons why I believe that Tezos is the future, okay? I don't care what anybody says, right? Right now, Tezos is a better peer-to-peer electronic cash than even Bitcoin is, okay? Because I can send it, the cost is cheap to send it, and it gets transacted, and it gets confirmed almost very, very instantly, okay? Close to instant, okay? So, you know, all the things that Bitcoin wanted to do and all the things that Ethereum wanted to do, Tezos is doing it, and they have a massive, massive amount of money to do it with, okay? Nobody out there has a war chest that can mess with Tezos. So that's why I'm investing into it big, okay? And if you look at, if you believe that this is big and you believe that staking is going to be the future, right? Then you got to ask yourself, right? What's going to happen to the price of Tezos when all the exchanges, all these hedge funds, all these places, you know, are need to stake Tezos for their clients and for their customers? What do you think is going to happen to the price of it? Okay, the demand is going to be massive, guys. Right? Right now, I honestly believe that the price of Tezos is being artificially kept at the low $1 level because the big institutions like Coinbase is in my opinion, right? There's institutions out there, there's people that need a large supply of it, and they're artificially using trading bots and algorithms to clamp down on the price so that the price, every time it goes up to near $1.50, they sell it and push it down. They might spend a few $100,000 to push the price back down, to collapse the price. And then when everybody sells it, then they have prices down here to buy it back up, and they might buy it with several $1,000,000 or several hundreds of $1,000s, and every time the price goes back up again, they spend a few $100,000 to sell it and crash the price back down, and then come back in and buy several $1,000,000 worth. And then once they're finished buying, then they're going to stop that nonsense, to clamp down on price, right? And then the price of Tesla is going to skyrocket, is my strongest opinion. Now, some people ask, if I think that the price of it is going to go up to $10 in 2020 or not. I believe that Tezos, once the nonsense from all these institutions and hedge funds, stop clamping down the price of Tezos, then I believe that it's going to go to $10 very, very easily and very, very quickly, right? Much faster than you can imagine, guys. Now, some people ask, hey, is that going to happen in 2020? I don't know. As a trader, nobody knows when, guys. Remember that. If any trader tells you when and how much, they're bullshitting you. They're not real traders. They're just a bunch of analysts. They're not traders, okay? Traders do not know when it's going to happen, and they do not know how much money they're going to make when it happens. They just know how to manage risks so that in case they're wrong, they don't lose their ass off and they can continue trading. But as far as how much and when, nobody knows that shit, okay? Stop asking me, stop emailing me, stop tweeting to me, stop sending me private messages asking me when and how much money, how much the price is gonna be. Nobody knows, guys, okay? I can't say that enough. Anybody tells you they know when and how much, they're full of shit, okay? So thanks for watching this video, guys. I just wanted to make that and just show you guys the institutional demand for Tezos is massive, guys. It's much bigger than you guys can imagine, okay? And that Coinbase custody is a public exchange. It's a public company that will. It's a private company, but the information they share with a lot of information they share publicly, so you can see what they're doing. There's a bunch of private hedge funds out there and private companies out there that are not going to tell you how much they're doing. Okay, so like out of those 400, like I said earlier, 450 something Tezos baking nodes out there, only 120 something I think are private, are public. The rest are all private, so we don't know who those guys are. And some of them have a lot of bonding, a lot of Tezos that they're putting as collateral in order to do the staking, guys. Okay, so hey, don't watch this video and miss the boat, guys. Do what you got to do, right? This is the bear market, right? Sell everything you got, right? Sleep on the floor if you have to. Sell your couch, sell your bed, sell your cars, ride a bicycle to work. Do whatever you gotta do to get the money to invest in crypto right now, guys. This is the opportunity of 100 years. Don't jack around. Don't stop going to these stupid baseball games, basketball games, and then lose your money, and then waste your money, and then when Tesla goes to $10 or $100, you're sitting there asking, hey, what the hell happened? How come I missed this? Like in 2017 when people missed Ethereum, right? We've been preaching about Ethereum for years and years and years, and in 2017, after it ran up to $1,400, people were still asking me, oh, is it late to get in? You're damn right it's late to get in when it's $1,400, you dumbass, okay? Get it while it's low. Get it right now. The ICO price of Tezos was around 42 or 46 cents. Okay, I've seen sources where it says 42 cents. I've seen sources where it says 46 cents. Okay, stop jacking around, right? And get you some Tezos. Get you 100 Tezos. Get you 500 Tezos. Get you 1,000 Tezos. Okay, you have 2 cars. Go sell one of it, right? And take a ride to work. Okay, if you live near work, walk, ride a bike. Do whatever you gotta do. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed. I used to drive around in half of a Honda Civic, but that's what allowed me to retire early now. Okay, so quit jacking around. Go get loaded up. Right? I can't say this enough, guys. Quit jacking around, okay? Quit jacking around. Quit jerking off. Quit going to these stupid sports games. Quit watching sports, quit drinking beer. Stop you smoking weed and go put your money into crypto, man. This is gonna change your life. Smoking weed ain't gonna change your life, okay? It's gonna change your state of consciousness for a few seconds and you're done. You drink a beer, it's gonna change your state of mind for a few seconds and you're done, okay? Stop jacking around, okay? You go to the football games. If you're in America, you've already seen it. If you went to high school in America, you've already seen enough football games. You've already seen enough basketball games. You've already seen enough of that, okay? Stop shooting guns, okay? Guns waste ammunition, waste money. Take that money and go invest it into crypto, and then when you make $1 gazillion, go buy you 1,000 guns and 10 tons of ammunition, you can shoot it all you want. But right now is not the time to be spending money on frivolous nonsense. The only thing you should be spending your money on is food and water and survival, okay? No TV, no cable, quit jacking around, right? And work an extra job if you have to, work 2-3 jobs if you have to. Quit jacking around, guys, okay? I can't say it enough, all right? So thanks for watching this video, guys. If you want to learn and get educated on cryptocurrency trading and investing and be able to retire early, go to www.cryptocurrency.market/blueprint. Get your copy of the blueprint today and quit jacking around with that also, okay? And then follow me on Twitter at HeyTaiZen, and I'll see you guys in the next video, okay?